the lights on, cameras roll, time to break the mold. No more silence, every story's gotta be told. Truth in the air, no filter, no disguise. Real talk, real change, we open up your eyes. We got the voices that are changing the game. Fearless, unchained, calling our names. From the struggles to the rise, we expose, we ignite. No topic too deep when you step in the light. We got the answers, spotlight, let your truth be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. From the pain to the power, the lessons we learn. Voices of the people, let the fire burn. Dr. Donna, Dr. Laxley, leading the way, guiding the truth in a world full of gray. Experts, activists, voices untold. Everyday heroes with stories so bold. This is more than a show, it's a movement, a spark, illuminating shadows, bringing light to the dark. We got the voices that are changing, be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. Step into the spotlight, let your truth be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. We got the voices, spotlight, let your truth be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. And if you want the real, then tune in right now. We're breaking down walls, no backing down. One mic, one voice, one mission tonight. Step into the spotlight, let's get it right. Let's get it right. Let's head to the spotlight. Let's get it right. What do?
Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Monday evening. Welcome to In the Spotlight. Of course, this is the home of unfiltered conversations where real talk is what we do right here. And I am none other than Dr. Donna Thompson.
Yes, and I'm Dr. Laxley, and together we are your fearless moderators. You know, I have to say that part if that Donna is going to get on me. And I don't need that on a Monday.
No.
Don't need that on a Monday. How are you doing, Dr. Donna? What's happening in your
I am great. I am great. I am thankful. I am blessed. I am grateful. I'm humbled. I am just happy that I'm here this Monday, of course, to share this platform with you. And just to be above ground, I am doing wonderful. How are you doing?
You know, you just said it all, right? Even if I was not doing good, instantly after listening to what you just said, sharing this platform with you and to be alive. How can I not be doing good?
Yeah.
Yeah. How can I not be doing good? So I just want to big up everyone out there who's joining us tonight and who will watch this replay. And I ask that if you're on, share it, because they say sharing is caring, and we know that to be true. Sharing is caring. So, spread the love is what we like to say at the Collision with Purpose movement. So, Donna, we have a movement going on, movement of the people in the Collision with Purpose.
A movement it is. I'm telling you, it's exciting. It's actually to see how everything is growing and really flourishing. It's really exciting. Every day is something new that is added to a Collision with Purpose movement.
Oh, every day is something new. And I tell you, the newest big thing is huge. Something you're going to be spearheading. And appropriately so, right? Her legacy.
Yes.
That's big stuff. That's big stuff. I'm just going to play a short clip. And, just real quick, well, about a minute, not much longer.
Okay.
A Collision with Purpose movement. Dr. Donna Thompson and Dr. Lorraine J. Smith. Every generation is shaped by voices that rise when others are silent. Voices of courage. Voices of wisdom. Voices that remind the world that leadership has many faces. This is her legacy. There's a story in every heart, a fire in every dream. Women rising through the dark, stronger than they seem. Through every challenge they stand tall, through every storm they rise, turning doubt into resolve with a vision in their eyes. Every word becomes a light, every step becomes a way, building bridges through the night toward a brighter day. When purpose calls and courage speaks, a voice can change the world we seek. This is her legacy. Voices shaping his.
Man.
Woo.
And, that song reminds me so much of my mother. Talk about someone who shaped generations, right? Yeah, powerful, powerful. And it's gonna be on every Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. I just want to say a little bit about it, okay?
Sure.
It's her legacy is a powerful conversational platform dedicated to highlighting the wisdom, strength, and influence of women whose voices influence generations. This show creates a space for meaningful dialogue that explores the journeys, challenges, triumphs, and insights of women who are influencing the world through purpose-driven leadership. Of course, it's hosted by you, Dr. Donna, and Dr. Lorraine. And I'm not going to say much more about it, but I tell you one thing we will do for sure. We're going to play that video again.
Oh yeah, that gives me, just listen to it gives me chills, because, and then not to mention the fact that this month is Women's Month. Yesterday was International Women's Day. And it just speaks volumes. It really speaks volumes, because there's so much that we still have to share as women, individuals, men, just human, just being human, and growth, right? That where we've been, where we are, where we're going, and it's all about growth, impact, and just like it said, it's really building a legacy, because if we don't share our experiences or wisdom or knowledge, the things that we've been through with the younger generation, the older generation, every single person, then what kind of world are we leaving behind? We're not making a difference. We're not going to make it a better place. So it's our job and our responsibility to share and hope, hopefully we empower and impact. And, sometimes, so individuals, you don't have to necessarily go down the hard path, or even if you're going down the hard path, you may see the signs and recognize it and do a detour and turn back or whatever. So it's going to be it's going to be a very powerful show.
It is going to be a very powerful show. And you talk about responsibility. And that's what the Collision with Purpose is all about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to call out anyone who's not acting, who's not accountable, and who's not acting responsibly. Because we're here to build a better community, a better self, a better family, a better everything, right? That is our work here at A Collision with Purpose. So I want to touch that song one more time, that video one more time.
Rising strong for all to see, lighting paths for every generation. This is her life, where wisdom meets destiny, hope and strength for all to see, building futures through inspiration. From the mothers who guide to the leaders who lead, from the dreamers who try to the ones who believe. Every lesson passed along, every door that opens wide, every woman standing strong with determination as her guide. The future listens when she speaks, the world begins to see that the strength we truly seek lives in possibility. When purpose leads and voices unite, the world begins to change tonight. This is her voices shaping history, rising strong for all to see, lighting paths for every generation. This is her life, where wisdom meets destiny, hope is strength for all to see, building futures through inspiration. Across every nation, across every land, the power of a woman will always stand.
Wow, across every generation, the power of a woman will always stand. Big stuff. Big stuff. And you're going to be hosting this show.
I'm excited.
Yeah, every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. We ask you to tune in, check it out. Big things are happening. We'll be having women from all walks of life, from all nationalities, from all over the world will be on this show. We'll be on the show.
we definitely want to reach out and say, if anyone would like to join us and be a guest on our show, reach out to us. Women.
I cannot be on the show. I know that. No, every now and then you can bring.
Yeah. Every now and then you can pop on, just like Bridging Generations, right?
Every now and then we can pop on. Right?
Yeah, because it's important. It's important for collaboration. So we help, because it's all about helping each other to grow.
That's all about that, right? So all right. So that is her legacy, and that's a big deal. And you talk about growth, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the discipline of becoming and why growth requires structure. And we've been talking a lot about structure through the Growth Mindset Masterclass, right? So tonight, Dr. Donna, we're going to explore a powerful idea, the discipline of becoming and why growth requires structure. You and I, we've been doing the real work around growth. So we know that growth is something almost everyone desires. Often we speak about reaching our potential and becoming better versions of ourselves. But we also know that growth does not occur simply because we desire it. It happens when intention meets discipline. So here in the spotlight, we often remind ourselves of an important truth. The The truth is that growth is not measured by how inspired we feel today, but by the disciplines we practice consistently. And I know that will sound a bit familiar to you. I talk about growth, systems, and structure, right? And discipline. So it is our daily habits, our decisions, and our willingness to reflect that quietly shape who we are becoming. So tonight we're going to explore a question that sits at the center of personal transformation. Why do some individuals continue evolving while others remain trapped in the same patterns year after year? We know that tomorrow is not determined by what we wish for. It is determined by what we consistently practice today. So, Donna, everyone wants growth. Everyone says they want to grow and improve. But why do some people struggle to commit to the discipline required for real growth?
Yeah, because you gotta have systems. You gotta have some systems in place. You gotta have a structure. Because a lot of times we say we want to grow and we think that we're doing the things to grow, whether it's, I don't know, whether it's journaling or whatever it is that you may do that you think that you're doing, right? But if you really don't have a proper systems in place to get to that place where you're wanting to grow, whatever your growth may look like, whether it's growing financially, spiritually, whatever it is, if you don't have those systems in place to say, well, okay, at this time every day, I'm going to say, read a chapter in my Bible, whatever it may be. And then place systems to make you accountable to do it, whether it's having an accountability partner, whether it's setting an alarm, whatever it is, right? You have to do those things. Otherwise, your growth is just going to be an idea, a thought, and there will be probably very little fruits to bear from it.
Wow.
If you don't have those systems and structures and processes in place. Because you're breaking habits. A lot of us, it's habits that we're having to break. And everything that growth requires work. Growth requires intentional work. And work for a lot of us is not easy. It's not, nobody wants to work.
Wow.
And growth requires that. It requires you to work, and you have to be disciplined, and you do have to be intentional about what you're doing. And even on the days when you don't feel like it, when you just want to stay in the bed, you're going to have to roll out, and you're going to have to do the things that you have to do.
It's powerful what you're saying, right? That growth requires work. It's not a get over thing, right? It's not a walk in the park where you just get up and things are just going to happen. That's not how it works, right? Growth asks something very important from us. We must sometimes look in the mirror and confront ourselves. Right? And too often we get into this thing that it's about more knowledge. Knowledge is important, but that's not always the case. Right? We have that, and we know where we can get knowledge. Some of the most knowledgeable, powerful intellectuals in this world, they're not necessarily growing.
No.
They're not, right? So we must look in that mirror and recognize certain habits, certain beliefs, and patterns in our lives, right? That we have carried for years, and what, we've been working together for quite a while. I've known you for a long time, and talking to you daily. I don't see you every day, but talking to you, having conversations with you daily, I have witness your growth in so many ways, so many areas. And I will tell you, it is something that I admire, I appreciate it, because if I am spending so much time around a person, someone, it is important for me to be in the company and the presence of someone
Hmm.
who's growing, because you're modeling growth. And what does that do for me? It's pushing me and it's telling me that I too must commit to recognize, to look in that mirror and recognize my habits and beliefs and patterns that are not necessarily working for me. So I too must dig in and do what I need to do to make a difference as well.
And you know what? It's it's interesting that you say that because, like, you know, you're saying you've seen like where areas in which I grow, but you know, I thank you for that because not like we've ever established like an accountability thing, right? Not like we've ever established anything like that. However, it's the unspoken word of
Mm,
knowing that your example of growing and wanting to grow and things that you're doing, and then when you come up with things and you know whatever it is that we're working on, and it's like, okay, we need to do this or whatever, it
mhm,
makes me also feel accountable. Like, you know, just your presence, your thoughts, your ideas, your actions also make me feel accountable. And so because of that, it pushes me, you know,
mhm,
your leadership, whether it's intentional or unintentional, but just by your actions, it also makes me feel accountable to where I push myself. Because it's easy to stay in my own little world and be in my comfort zone. Because trust me, I got a lot going on. So I could really stay there and function and survive. But who is that serving? No one, right?
mhm,
So having that with you, it definitely helps me. It has really pulled me and forced me to have to take action, to
mhm,
have to do certain things, whether I see the big picture, whether you know I see the end of the road or whatever. It, you know,
mhm,
that's not even the point. It's not, that's not even the relevance. It's the fact that I have to take action to do something to get to there. And you know, and so far every single thing, it has paid out, you know, even when it may have seemed a little bit difficult and challenging to accomplish. However,
mhm,
once once again, that structure, that process, once
mhm.
again, you know, going through it, it you know, the pain is worth it.
Mm. Pain is worth it. You know, people in general, I think people admire growth when they see it in others.
Mhm.
But this is where the challenge is when the process begins to disrupt their comfort. That's when hesitation shows up, right?
Mhm.
One thing we know about growth, it requires change.
Yes.
And as we often say here on in the spotlight or in the at the a collision with purpose movement, comfort preserves the person we are, but challenge reveals the person we're capable of becoming.
Mhm.
So, you know, that discomfort, that moment of discomfort is not something that we should fear. And again, I'm talking now from the growth mindset masterclass. What you know, the lessons that we share with our friends. That what it is often the moment where transformation begins, when that place of fear shows up in your life, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So let us move to from motivation. Let's talk about motivation versus discipline. And the question then, Dr. Donna, is motivation enough to transform a person's life, or does lasting change require something deeper, like discipline?
I would I would say that it's great to be motivated, but discipline and consistency is going to form more habits.
Mhm.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because today I can be motivated to walk, right? Weather is great. I feel good. I'm motivated to walk and I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go do it. And we've done this so many times. I'm going to go do it. And I'm saying that because I know it's something that I struggle with, so that's why I'm using walking as a as a perfect example. I'm motivated to do it. I want to do it. I know the benefits of doing it. However, as soon as something happens, like it gets cold, I fall off track.
Like it did.
Like it did. And that's why I'm using that example. I fall off track. So with that, I'm saying the discipline, the consistency, that's what's going to help you to drive you to continue to do the thing that you're motivated to do. Because those days are going to come when you're like, I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this. And I should say that I'm posting these questions in the chat. So if you see me moving around, that's because I'm typing the questions in the chat as we ask them. So here's my take. And you said it. Motivation is a big, big deal. It's powerful. However, it is temporary. And I will also go as far as to say that it is emotional. And it can be sparked and generated by some type of inspiration or a powerful moment of realization in your life. And we see that happen all the time. When we go to an event and we come back, we're so motivated, right? A powerful moment of realization, right? But what we know about emotions is that it fluctuates. It's never one consistent thing, right?
Right.
Anything that is built on emotions is going to go up, down, and all over the place. Not saying anything is wrong, but I'm just stating the reality, right? And so as we go through life, certain things is going to happen in our life, right? We're going to experience fatigue, uncertainty, and disappointment. And those things will blunt your motivation in a minute, right? In a second. So again, motivation is powerful because it will really introduce certain possibilities into your life. Because when you're motivated, just like when we go walking, we're so pumped up, we're fired up. But as soon as the cold weather set in, it falls off. So guess what's important then? This discipline.
Right.
Discipline is what will bring you through to transformation. That's where that discipline is so powerful, right? So I will say this, that discipline is the quiet decision that you make, that you and I make, and everyone else, to continue showing up, even when progress feels slow, even when it's very cold outside, even when you don't feel like it. That is what the discipline is all about. Yeah, that's my take on that, Dr. Donna.
All right, and I think, did I just see Elizabeth jump on? Are you frozen, Doc? Let me see here. I'm going to add Elizabeth.
Yeah, Elizabeth came on, and did you let her in? And
yeah, I just added her. I just let her on.
It knocked us out.
Hello.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Yes. I thought the program was going to start at 3:30 a.m.
No.
Kenyan time.
Don't worry about that. You're on.
You're on.
Let's not focus on that.
Okay. Okay. So I'm here.
And that's the important thing. All right, thanks for joining us, Elizabeth. We're having
Sure.
a conversation about why growth requires structure. That's what we're talking about right now. And we
Sure.
thanks for
Sure.
joining
Sure.
us. Thanks for joining us all the way from Kenya. It's very late there, but you came on, so we
Sure.
really appreciate that. And the last thing we talked about, just to bring you up to speed, is that discipline is the quiet decision to continue showing up even when progress feels slow. And I know you know something about discipline, living
Yes.
a disciplined life. So I just want you to comment on what is discipline in terms of how you view it, and what does it do for you in your life, discipline, being disciplined.
I was just thinking about it when I was going through what we are going to discuss, and there's something I thought about. Some days you can wake up and then you feel very motivated, and then some days you can wake up feeling very, very tired, or you feel very like giving up. And then there's what we call this discipline. So discipline will require you to do something. It will require you to do something whether you are motivated or not. So this motivation may start the journey. Motivation is going to start the journey, but when you talk about discipline, discipline is what now is going to keep you going. So if you want to grow, whether you like it or not, you must be disciplined so that you can continue growing every time. So that is it about discipline.
Thank you for sharing that. Dr. Donna, you want to add anything to that?
No, I definitely, I can agree with what Elizabeth is saying as well. It's that, you do, discipline, it does require action. It does, just like what you explained, earlier, Doc, it's, that whole emotional side of being motivated about something, that feel good feel. But the discipline part of it and being consistent, it does require action. It does require you having to do something when that feeling is gone.
Sure.
In order for you to continue getting results, because those times, let's just be real, those times are going to come. We're all human, we can all be motivated about whatever it is, but there is going to come a time when you fall off the wagon, and how you continue moving forward. It's going to be that discipline that you have, that no matter what, you're going to have to do whatever it is. If you have to pivot to do something else to get to that end result, whatever it may be, you have to be disciplined enough to know that you're still going to have to take action to move forward.
Sure.
Yeah, so discipline is important, but we also know that there's another critical element that you must possess to grow, and that growth requires structure. So what role do systems, routines, and structure play in personal and professional growth? Well, Elizabeth, what role do systems, routines, and structure play in personal and professional growth?
So we all know that there's no growth that comes by accident. No time growth comes by accident, and routines support growth. What you do every time will support your growth. Let's talk about reading. Let's talk about praying. That is when you put a routine, when you do it every time, it's going to support your growth. And then the structures will give you direction. because without the structure, you're going to rely on emotions. And emotions will always change every day. Your emotions change every day. So we are supposed to have a structure, because a structure is going to give you a direction that you're going to follow so that you can grow. That's my take.
Dr. Donna?
Yeah, definitely structure is important, right? Because the structure makes your growth a lot easier. It makes what you're having to do somewhat, I don't want to say effortless, but it becomes such a routine and a habit that whether you're motivated or not, you don't have to think about it. It's almost like a memory muscle. You just automatically do it. And that's where your structure, having that structure where you're doing that every day, establishes the routine, establishes the habit, then you're going to have that consistency. So even when all the other things fail, because now this has become an innate part of you, you're just automatically going to do it. That's just like, when you think about your, and I, try to make it as simple as, brushing your teeth in the morning, right?
Hmm?
What system do you have to brush your teeth? Okay, you need your toothpaste, you need your toothbrush, you need water, you may need some mouthwash, those are the things that you need, to form your system so that you can brush your teeth and clean your teeth in the morning, and then you move on. And that, because that regardless of whether you're feeling well or not, you have built a routine that, okay, the first thing I do when I get up in the morning, this is what I do. Before I go to bed, this is what I do. And you're gonna have your toothbrush, your toothpaste. Those are your tools that you're going to use to accomplish this task, so that you can have clean teeth, you can have good breath, hygiene. So the same thing for your life, right? The same thing for your life is find those systems, put them in place, apply them, and then just consistently do them, and then you'll have those results even when you're not motivated to do it.
Even when you're not motivated. And we I think we dissected motivation. We really put tasks to it. But this is what I want to share, is that we all have aspirations, right?
Sure.
We, as individuals, we imagine the person that we want to become or the impact we hope to make. We talk about her legacy, Dr. Donna, and it's all about the work that you're doing and that other women are doing that you'll be reporting on, right? So that is the impact that we hope to make. But I want to say that aspirations without structure often leads to frustration. And why is that so? And that's because structure creates patterns. And it's through patterns. You do something habitually over and over, you create habits, right? And habits we talk about in our growth mindset masterclass and in the blueprint. Habits gradually shape identity and determine who you are, right? It's your habits that determine who you are. And that's all how you form structure in your life. So here's something I want to put out there. I would say that dreams create direction, but structure creates progress. And it is through the structure that we turn our intention into daily action. And when something is repeated consistently, that is when growth starts to take shape in our lives. And I think that is how we present it in the growth mindset masterclass. That is exactly how we present it. So Elizabeth, you have the final word on that.
No, I was talking about without having that structure, you're going to rely on emotion. So it is not something that you're supposed to change every time. It's supposed to get the direction. The structure should always give you direction. So if you rely on emotions which change every day, you are not going to grow. So you always have to have this direction, and which is given because of the structure itself. So there's no growth that comes by accident. Not at all. You must take the route every time.
Let's talk about something that is, I believe, is probably one of the most important thing, and that is the role of self-reflection. Just taking time out, sitting back, pause, and just think about what is happening in your life. How important is self-reflection in the process of growth, Dr. Donna?
It's extremely important. If you don't do self-reflection, you can't grow, because you have to be able to look back and see what your mistakes were, what you've learned from them, and what you're going to implement to make the change so you don't make the same mistakes. So you really have to do self-reflection to grow. If you're wanting to grow, that is. I'm going to say if you're wanting to grow. Some people are comfortable where they are. But if you are at the mindset where you want to grow, it is you're not going to to me you're not going to be able to grow if you don't do self-reflection. It just goes hand in hand.
Yes.
Hand in
And
hand,
to
huh?
me, yeah.
Like two
And to
lovers.
me, when you talk about self-reflection, self-reflection is like holding a mirror to your life. And when you have this self-reflection, it allows you to ask yourself some difficult question like, where am I doing well? Where am I failing? What do I need to improve? Those are questions that you'll ask yourself. And self-reflection at the end of it requires what we call honesty. And true growth begins the moment you are honest with yourself. Anytime you're honest with yourself, that is when now you will start to truly grow every time. So it's all about honesty in your self-reflection.
Yes, so important. And I think that we all agree that self-reflection is one of the most powerful disciplines in personal development, your development, right?
Mhm.
You know, and Elizabeth and Donna, you both said before we can change our lives, we must first understand the patterns shaping them, right? And how else
Sure.
to understand them. So if you're not willing to pause and examine the decisions that you're making, how your reactions and your habits, then you're going to be challenged in life, right? Because often you'll see many individuals, they tend to move from one experience quickly to another without even any form of reflection, right? But the power in reflection, and Elizabeth, you said it, Dr. Donna, you said it also, is that your experiences does not automatically become wisdom. Not because you experience something, don't mean it's going to be wisdom. That's not how it works, right?
Nope.
Right? So experience alone does not produce wisdom. Experience becomes wisdom only when we pause long enough to reflect on what it is teaching us,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because our experience and the experience of others is all part of reflection, right? Reflection is our greatest teacher.
Mm-hmm.
We must be honest with ourselves, like Elizabeth said, and own our behaviors, own our habits, own our patterns, and see how those patterns are serving, those habits are serving, the things we're experiencing are serving, how they're serving our, what we say is our purpose in life,
Mm-hmm.
right? What we say is our
Sure.
purpose in life. So reflection, and this transforms experience into insight. And it's through insight that we move forward with greater awareness.
Mhm.
So yeah, so reflection is a big, big, big thing. All right, we're gonna move to the next thing. All right, and a lot of us, we're gonna talk about comfort zones, right?
Mm.
Right, that's a big thing. Why does meaningful growth often require stepping outside of our comfort zones, Dr. Donna?
If you don't step out of that comfort zone, you're not going to grow and you're not going to know what's out there for you. However, before you step out of your comfort zone, I think you do have to do, of course, your self reflection. And you do have to do an assessment of what does growth look like for you?
Mhm.
You know, what does growth look like for you? And what it is that, what areas are you wanting to grow in? And
Mhm.
what are the things that you're going to have to do in order to get to that growth level? And I think those are things that you have to do, and you have to be honest um, before you even think about stepping out of your comfort zone. Because, and I'm saying this because oftentimes you may have individuals where, you know, a lot of us, we're good at that, is kind of imparting our ideas and our thoughts on individuals as to, you know, what they should do in life, where they should be, how they should grow, all these different things, right? Sometimes, you know, and it's not being, you know, like, it's all coming from a good place, because we all want to see individuals grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll kind of try to direct people in what we think is good for them, or where their growth should be.
Mm.
Once again, not saying that it's bad, because our intentions are not bad. However, for that person, they do have to do some self-reflection, and they do have to know, okay, is this a path that I want to go? Is this what I want to do? What am I going to do to get there? And if you don't do that, I'm saying that because I'm probably going around in a circle, but and if you don't do that, you'll find that as a person, your life will be directed by individuals, and you're doing things and think that you're growing, and it's not your growth, it's someone else's aspirations, dreams, ideas for your life. And you'll find that you've accomplished a lot of things. You may have accomplished a lot of things. However, when you look at your life, you really have not grown. And
Sure.
so you do have to do that first, and be grounded in that. And then, you know, then look at the things that you need to change, because then now that's where that stretch is going to come in, because it's gonna, you know, it's going to take some work. It's going to stretch you, because now you're going to have to step out of that comfort zone of someone always directing my life or my path or telling me what to do. You're going to have to really take accountability for yourself and your growth, and really now figure out how you want to get to that place of growth. And I hope
Sure.
I answered the questions, because I probably said a whole bunch.
One thing about answers, you know, they're your answers, and so there's no right or wrong. It's how you're feeling, and you're articulating just that. So let me say this, right? We all like stability, right? And that is what
Mhm.
comfort zones create for us. But even with that stability, there are limitations, right? And
Mhm.
that is what happens in the comfort zone space. So, not a bad place, Donna, as you're saying, it's not a bad place to be. However, you must understand that there are limitations in that zone, right?
Right.
So,
Mhm.
when we, it's the problem is when we remain exclusively in environments where everything feels predictable, that's when we tend not to change,
Mhm.
and we remain largely unchanged, right? So
Sure.
growth, we must be exposed to other things in order to grow. And often when you're being exposed to other things, you're being exposed outside of your comfort zone, right?
True.
So situations where individuals, where you must adapt or learn and expand your thinking is what will encourage growth in you. And those are not comfort zone type places, right?
Mm-mm.
So,
Sure.
and of course, that's where you're going to be dealing with uncertainty as well when you're in these new this new ecosystem, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the thing to understand is discomfort, as messed up, as challenging as it can be, is probably evidence that you're growing. There's some growth taking place when that happens, right? So you're actually expanding. So Elizabeth, your take.
When you get into comfort zone, uh, you can become a prisoner to everything. You feel like you are in prison because at the end of it, growth requires courage, and courage will be like you're facing your fears, you're risking failure, and also you're trying out very new things. So when you decide to step out of your comfort zone, you will discover that uh, you are going to do something that you never knew you can do it. So it is always good for you to get out of that comfort zone so that you don't feel like you're inside a prison, so that you can explore and do so many things. And you will discover that, hey, so I could do this one to myself. That is what getting out of the comfort zone means, according to me.
According to Elizabeth, get
Mm.
out of prison. All right. So
Can I share, before we move on, can I share something about that with you guys? Because this is really interesting. It's something that just happened to me yesterday, if you don't mind. So
Mhm.
yesterday I went to an event, totally not in my neighborhood, an hour and a half, which is way out of my comfort zone, totally different neighborhood, no clue where I was going. And then when I got to the area, but I was so discombobulated because it was so out of my element that I kept passing the place, right?
mm,
I kept passing the place because my nerves, because I was just like my surrounding, everything was unfamiliar and it was uncomfortable. Then to find parking, I'm trying to find parking right in front of the building. No parking. So that required me having to go blocks down to find parking. Okay, I braved it, found parking, and now I had to walk blocks back up. Don't know anyone, not my neighborhood, totally uncomfortable. However, I braved it, did it, went to the event, phenomenal event, had a great time, network, an absolute awesome evening, right? Until now, like today, I'm reflecting and I'm like, wow, you know what? That was not so bad. I would go back. I want to go back. It wasn't so
Mhm.
bad. But once but once again, that was stretching me. That was me
Mhm.
stretching myself to just something that small. It may seem minute to a lot of people, but for me, that was huge. And that was taking me
Mhm.
out of my comfort zone because that's coming out of my neighborhood, what I'm used to, what I'm comfortable with,
Sure.
and putting me,
Mhm.
just like what Doc said, in a totally different ecosystem. Totally
Mhm.
different ecosystem. But I went there and I found out, you know what? This ecosystem, it ain't that bad. I can learn some things
Mhm.
over here.
Sure.
it ain't that bad. It's never that bad. Never that bad.
Mhm.
So Dr.
Mm.
Donna, you will have recognized that we're talking about structure, systems.
Mhm.
We're talking about discipline and consistency. And those words define my growth theme for 2026 and beyond. So we're building this conversation on those things, and there are the things that we talk about as well, the elements that we discuss, the growth elements that we discuss in the growth mindset blueprint masterclass. So Elizabeth, you have not read the book and you have not attended one of the masterclass, but these are some of the things we talk about. So the next one is consistency. So Dr. Donna, why is consistency such a powerful factor in personal transformation?
Well, consistency, it's going to form new habits. And when you form new habits, then your transformation begins to take place. So you're breaking away, you're breaking old habits and you're forming new habits. But in order to do that, you do have to be consistent in whatever the action is that you're doing. That's it.
And you know what I like about forming new habits? They compound over time. Right? So it's new habits over time. So as you develop these habits and you keep building on them, small habits, and then that compound effect starts to happen, right? So often what people do, they look for big dramatic breakthroughs to suddenly transform their lives, but that's not how you get transformation. In fact, meaningful, real change rarely occurs in a single moment. And the way you experience meaningful change in your life is through repeated actions, practiced consistently. So just want to say that transformation really happens in dramatic moments. As I said earlier, it is usually the quiet result of small disciplines practiced long enough, often enough, on a regular basis. And these small actions, they accumulate and they form your identity. They change you, becoming someone else, something else. And so essentially what they're doing, Dr. Donna, is they're reshaping your thinking. And when you're reshaping your thinking, you're developing new skills. And your character is also being strengthened as well. So consistency is the quiet architect behind transformation. Elizabeth?
Yes. So just to still talk about the transformation, when you talk about transformation, it happens through small actions that will be done repeatedly. That is what consistency comes. And simply consistency will build habits, and then habits will shape your character, and then character will shape your destiny. That is it.
Your destiny. Donna, you like that word, destiny?
Destiny.
I want to rule my destiny. that song, right? So then let's talk about growth as a lifelong journey, because it's not a part-time thing, right? It's a one-time thing. It's not something you do today and not do tomorrow. In fact, you must practice those same habits. You must make the decision to practice them every single day. You don't say, "Oh, I'm going to do it today, but I'm not going to do it tomorrow or the day after, and I'll get back to it." You see what happened, Donna, when we don't go to the park to walk, and the day you don't go and the next day you don't go, you're forming new habits.
Yeah.
It has become a new habit.
It's a new habit of not going. Of not going. So, it's like saying indecision is a decision, right? Not making a decision is a decision. So the question is growth ever completed? That's the true question. Is it ever completed? Dr. Donna, is growth ever completed? Or is becoming the best version of yourself a lifelong journey? What is the answer?
Well, I would say as long as you're above ground, growth is never complete. You're always growing.
Mm.
And becoming the best version of yourself. It really should be your lifelong journey. That is something that we all should aspire to do, which of course is always going to require for you to grow, because every day is a new experience. Every single day is growth. Every day you wake up, it's growth, because no day is the same. There is always something new to learn in every new day, something to reflect on every single day. So unless you just don't want to grow, then you're not going to grow. But if you do, every single day of your life is an opportunity to grow, because you can learn something from it. And so that the next day you can implement it, you can do something better. And so it's your life's journey. Your growth is really your life's journey. Or it should be.
Sure.
Wow. Elizabeth, is growth ever complete?
No, growth is never finished, because as long as we are alive, there's always another level to reach, another lesson to learn, and also to develop ourselves. So growth is never finished. Growth is a journey that we walk every day.
Wow. Growth, says Elizabeth, is never finished. And she's so right. Because each stage of life, you face new challenges and new opportunities to evolve, to grow, right? Right, Dr. Donna, you had your experience yesterday. And I want to say that the individual who remain vibrant in their thinking and in their leadership are those who maintain curiosity. And one way to grow is to be curious. You'll find that learning is ongoing, reflecting is ongoing, and you'll always position yourself in situation where you must adapt to new things, because you're experiencing different ecosystems. You're living outside your comfort zone, so you grow. That's where growth really is. So again, becoming who you're becoming who you say you want to be is, again, it's not about perfection. It's about making that commitment to continuous improvement. Right. So we're getting close to wrapping up. So before we close tonight, there are 3 questions, and I'm just gonna put them out there for the audience or for anyone who will be listening, and then we'll go to final argument. What discipline do you need to develop in order to grow? That's a question for anyone who will be watching this broadcast. And what habits in your life today are helping you to move forward? And which ones are holding you back? I posted them in the chat. And if you continue living exactly as you are today, who will you become 5 years from now? In Dr. Donna, if you continue to live the way you're living, exactly how you're living today, who will you become 5 years from now, Elizabeth? So that's a rhetorical question for us, but for anyone watching, try and answer it. All right, so Elizabeth, final thoughts. We're getting ready to wrap up. What are your thoughts? First, let me say thanks for coming on. That is some commitment. That's some discipline, by the way. Deep.
Yeah. So we've been talking about growth, and I want to always grow. And I'm just talking about choosing. I decided to choose resilience and gratitude, and I'm actually becoming a beacon of hope to others who face their own impossible battles. And I want to leave a legacy one time. And this legacy that I want to leave is not just a legacy that I fought cancer and was able to overcome it. No. I want to leave a legacy that I grew deeper in empathy, more vocal in my love for others, and very appreciative that I'm able to breathe up to this moment. So that is what I'm really thinking about. I should not just be seen that I fought a disease and was able to overcome. I want to be seen that I grew deeper in empathy and I was able to be very vocal in love and also appreciate that I'm able to breathe even up to the moment. And I want to grow and grow and grow.
Wow. I want endless growth is what I'm hearing. I want to grow and grow. I love that. And that's what we all
Sure.
That's what we I know the three of us on this platform, that is what we want for our lives and for others around us, our friends and family members. So my take is that growth is not accidental. The growth is not accidental. It is intentional. Growth emerges through discipline, through consistency, through your reflection, and the courage that you have within you to change. Because change is not always easy. It's not. To embrace something that is new, something that is not familiar, brings a certain amount of uncertainty. But you must have the courage to see beyond the uncertainty and to see beyond the change itself and what it will do for you. And I would also say that every person has the capacity to evolve, to change, to grow. But the one thing that they must understand, that we all must understand, that growth begins with a decision. And it's a decision that you must make daily, if not hourly, if not by the minute. And just like our experience, the decision to show up is one of them. You experienced yesterday, Donna. And the decision to reflect. And this is a big one. The decision to improve. That is the growth. Because it's intentional. You must make that decision, say, I am about growth and I am going to grow. I am going to improve. I am not going to be the same person that I was yesterday. Yeah, growth is like that. It's not a case of I set a goal, so 1 year from now I'm going to be different. You got to start changing. It's a thing. It's small step. It's small. It's incremental in small steps, right? And we say it's going to compound over a period of time. That's how you grow. And then all of a sudden, someone said, "You're different." That's because you're paying attention. Because you have been growing, you have been changing, right? So you're developing new habits and new patterns, and so you're reshaping your identity. So let me end this. First, Elizabeth, thanks for joining us. That's show a lot of courage. You're a very courageous person. But I want to say to anyone who is out there listening, who you become tomorrow is quietly being built by the disciplines you practice today. Dr. Donna, I turn it over to you.
All righty. Thank you. I'm doing the closing out. So, one thing I just want to say before we close out is we're talking about growth, but I encourage everyone to go out there and to really take a chance on yourself, redefine who you are, and not let others define who you are, because it will limit you in your growth.
Mhm.
So take ownership of your life, take control of your life and where you want to be in your life, and begin that process of growing.
Mhm.
I echo Doc Elizabeth. Thank you so much for being here with us. It's always great when we can see you in person and your smile. It's always a wonderful thing. So I know it's late, so thank you so much for staying up with us. And we
Thank
we
you.
love you, we appreciate you, and we're always here for you. So anyways, to our audience, we thank you for joining us this Monday evening. I know that it's a little bit after our hour, but we thank you for being here with us. We are very humbled that you stayed on with us, and we hope that the discussion this evening inspired you and has sparked some type of a change that you want to make for your life. With that, it is Monday evening. So do have a wonderful and safe remainder of the week. Do come back and join us this Thursday. Well, actually, Wednesday. We do have the afternoon show on Wednesday. So join us again on Wednesday afternoon. I believe, is it 1 p.m. our time, Doc?
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
My guest will be Dr. Lorraine Smith. She's coming back on.
Okay, so we'll have our guest again, Dr. Lorraine Smith. So join us again on Wednesday, and then also Thursday evening at 7:30, Bridging Generations, where you'll get to join the conversation with some of our young men. I'm going to say young men. So join us Thursday evenings for that. And, like we said, with that, do go out there and be great, do greatness. We charge you to go out there and do an act of kindness. Find someone that you do not know, not a family member, not a friend. Always be kind and loving to your family member and friends. But we want you to go out there and begin spreading kindness with your community, strangers, and anyone that you come in contact with. Let's just begin spreading kindness throughout the world, and have a wonderful Monday evening.
All right. We're going to close out with us on set. We're going to play this beautiful Her Legacy again.
This is a promise, a collision with purpose movement. Dr. Donna Thompson and Dr. Lorraine J. Smith. Every generation is shaped by voices that rise when others are silent. Voices of courage. Voices of wisdom. Voices that remind the world that leadership has many faces. This is her legacy. There's a story in every heart, a fire in every dream. Women rising through the dark, stronger than they seem. Through every challenge they stand tall, through every storm they rise, turning doubt into resolve with a vision in their eyes. Every word becomes a light, every step becomes a way, building bridges through the night toward a brighter day. When purpose calls and courage speaks, a voice can change the world we seek. This is her legacy. Voices shaping history, rising strong for all to see, lighting paths for every generation. This is her legacy, where wisdom meets destiny, hope and strength for all to see, building futures through inspiration. From the mothers who guide to the leaders who lead, from the dreamers who try to the ones who believe. Every lesson passed along, every door that opens wide, every woman standing strong with determination as her guide. The future listens when she speaks, the world begins to see that the strength we truly seek lives impossible. responsibility when purpose leads and voices unite. The world begins to change tonight. This is how voices shaping history, rising strong for all to see. Light and paths for every generation. This is how where wisdom meets destiny, hope is strength for all to see. Building futures through inspiration. Across every nation, across every land, the power of a woman will always stand. Her voice is a promise, her strength is a key. Her courage raised tomorrow for the world to see. Voices shaping history, rising strong for all to see. Changing lives across the nation. Purpose meets identity, guiding hearts for all to see. A movement built on inspiration. Join the conversation on her legacy. Hosted by Dr. Donna Thompson and Dr. Lorraine J. Smith. Presented by the A Collision with Purpose movement. Because when women speak with purpose, generations listen.